Be honest. At some point, you've wished you could just snap your fingers and instantly master a new skill. Maybe it was learning how to do a backflip to impress your 6th grade crush, or picking up the guitar to play that one song everyone loves. Whatever it was, the goal was simple: to be the cool kid everyone noticed. Now that we're older, the things we want to learn have shifted. Instead of party tricks, we're focused on skills that actually matter: business, tech, languages, fitness. But here's the problem. Most of us are terrible at learning efficiently, and it's not really our fault. Schools trained us to memorize facts, regurgitate them for a test, and then forget them immediately after. But memorization isn't learning. Real learning is about understanding, applying, and retaining information so well that it becomes second nature. Think about the last time you tried to learn something: a language, an instrument, coding. What did you do? If you're like most people, you crammed. You read a lot, watched a ton of tutorials, and then nothing stuck. Why? Because you focused on input, reading, watching, and listening, when you should have been focusing on output, doing, practicing, and teaching. It's like trying to learn how to swim by reading a book about it. You might understand the theory, but the moment you hit the water, you're sinking. Learning is a contact sport. You have to get your hands dirty. But before we dive into the best ways to actually learn faster, there's one thing you need to understand. Not everything is equally important. Enter the 80-20 rule, also known as the Pareto principle. It states that 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts. In learning, this means focusing on the core principles that give you the biggest return. Want to learn a new language? Forget memorizing 10,000 words. Just focus on the 1,000 most commonly used ones. They make up 80% of everyday conversations. Trying to learn guitar? Master the basic chords before worrying about intricate solos. Nail the fundamentals, and everything else will follow. One of the best ways to master the essentials quickly is through active recall. Instead of passively reviewing information, you actively test yourself. Let's say you're learning history. Instead of rereading the same paragraph about World War II for the 10th time, close the book and try to recall what you just read. It forces your brain to work harder, strengthening your memory in the process. Think of it like lifting weights. Just looking at dumbbells won't make you stronger. You have to actually pick them up and do the work. But here's the thing. Overloading your brain won't help either. That's why cramming doesn't work. It might feel productive in the moment, but it's a short-term fix. Instead, leverage the spacing effect, breaking up study sessions over time. Ideally, spend 30 to 60 minutes a day on a subject rather than binge studying for 6 hours straight. Every time you revisit a topic, your brain strengthens the neural connections associated with it. It's like carving a path through the woods. The more you walk it, the clearer and easier it becomes. Now, remember the swimming analogy? This is where it really comes into play. If you want to learn faster, you need to practice, but not just any practice, deliberate practice. This means focusing on your weak points, not just repeating what you're already good at. It's uncomfortable, sure, but that's where real growth happens. For example, if you're learning to draw, don't just sketch the same anime character over and over. Challenge yourself to draw hands, faces, and different perspectives. It'll be frustrating at first, but you'll improve way faster that way. Another underrated learning hack: teach what you learn. It sounds weird, right? How can you teach something you don't fully understand? Well, that's the point. Teaching forces you to organize your thoughts, explain concepts clearly, and identify gaps in your understanding. If you can't explain it simply, you don't really know it. And if you don't have someone to teach, record yourself explaining it as if you were making a YouTube video. Pretend thousands of people will watch it. Trust me, that pressure will force you to really understand the topic. Another powerful strategy is engaging multiple senses while learning. Your brain thrives on variety. If you're learning Spanish, don't just read words. Listen to native speakers, watch Spanish YouTube videos, write sentences, and speak out loud. Combining visual, auditory, and kinesthetic learning strengthens memory and comprehension, making the knowledge stick. And don't forget, learning should be fun. The more enjoyable the process, the faster you'll learn. Set small, achievable goals and reward yourself when you hit them. Turn learning into a game. Compete with a friend. Use apps that track your progress. Your brain loves dopamine, and every small win reinforces your motivation to keep going. Of course, distractions are the enemy of deep learning. You might think you're good at multitasking, but research says your brain can only focus on one thing at a time, so turn off notifications, close unnecessary tabs, and create a distraction-free environment. The fewer interruptions, the better. Now, here's something most people ignore. Rest is just as important as effort. Sleep isn't just about recharging. It's when your brain organizes and consolidates everything you've learned. Pulling all-nighters to cram actually sabotages your learning. Instead, prioritize good sleep and take regular breaks during study sessions. Just like your muscles need rest to grow, your brain needs downtime to process information effectively. And finally, mindset is everything. If you believe you're bad at learning, you'll struggle. But if you adopt a growth mindset, the belief that you can improve with effort, you'll be amazed at what you can achieve. Instead of saying, I can't do this, tell yourself, I can't do this yet. That tiny shift in perspective makes all the difference because it moves you from seeing failure as the end to seeing it as part of the journey. So, to sum it up, focus on the essentials, use active recall, space out your learning, practice deliberately, teach what you learn, engage multiple senses, eliminate distractions, prioritize rest, and most importantly, enjoy the process. Because learning isn't just about acquiring new skills, it's about growing into the best version of yourself. And that's the real goal, isn't it?